81 and Redland Road.
San Antonio's Sports Star. San Antonio's Sports Center.
Still no deals for Dak or CD as CD Lamb's holdout continues out at Cowboys camp. We'll get into it today here on Extra Innings with Pleasure as the Cowboys gear up for a joint practice with the Rams coming up later this week. And Team USA is the top seed as they go into the knockout round as the qualifiers or the quarterfinals will begin for the U.S. tomorrow at 2:30 against the.
This is Extra Innings with Pleasure.
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
Rock and roll! The Texans win it!
You've been called the Da Vinci of our time. What do you say to that?
Absolutely ridiculous. I don't paint.
That ball is history. A walk-off home run.
And it's going to be legendary.
James Pleasure wraps your day with insight, opinion, plenty of sarcasm, and of course, your calls. He'll even pour a beer out the door for his favorite story of the day. This is Extra Innings with Pleasure. Now, here's Pledge.
Oh, welcome into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com. I am James Pleasure. Thanks for joining me, however you may be joining, whether that's on 94.1 FM, sasportstar.com, or if you are listening via our YouTube app or YouTube channel at SA Sports Star on YouTube. Fred Records already in the building. Appreciate y'all for joining me. Man, we're getting close. Football season is here because we got a coaches poll come out. We've had a preseason game, and like the Hall of Fame game normally does, ended early. But this week marks the real football. That's where all the teams, including the Dallas Cowboys, get in action. As a matter of fact, the Cowboys play their first game this Sunday at 2:30 pregame right here on your home for the Dallas Cowboys. Saturday, San Antonio Sports Star, 3:30 on the kickoff. And of course, Friday, the Texans play as they take on the Steelers. And if you want to join the Blitz for that, it is football preseason kickoff across the league for the most part. And the Texans taking on the Steelers. No better place to watch that game than at the Roo Pub. And guess what? Blitz is going to be out at the Roo Pub from 2 to 6 on Friday as the preseason kicks off in earnest. So go ahead, go out there, have a good time, join Jason and Joe, and who knows, I'll probably straggle my way out there after the show to watch the second half of that game. So it is good times. And I talk about the Cowboys, I talk about the Texans, and if you were listening to the media or just feel from fan bases, it feels like these are teams on two completely separate paths. The Texans have an arrow pointing up, and there's all this hype, and rightfully so. While the Cowboys, it feels like the way they're talked about, this team is going to be a 6-win team. If you listen to some of the doom and gloom prophecies that fill a lot of rhetoric surrounding the Dallas Cowboys right now. And I just don't see it. Yes, is this team at face value worse than it was last year? Maybe, but I don't think so. I think they have a good linebacking core that has invested into the position. You've got Deron Bland, who played excellent last year at one corner, and Trayvon Diggs, a healthy Trayvon Diggs on the other side, which that's going to be what Gilmore and Trayvon was supposed to be, only more youthful and more dynamic, because anybody that watched last year, Stephon Gilmore was not the Stephon Gilmore who was the defensive player of the year 5 years ago. He's lost a step and maybe even two. And while vet savvy makes up for some of it, he got picked on a lot last year. And the ability for them to move around Micah and what we've seen, especially today he is dominating. Zimmer being able to move him around is going to be key. And we talk about all the different things. Jalen Tolbert, it sounds like you might want to start buying in to the Jalen Tolbert hype train, because it's leaving the tracks. And Dak Prescott has spoken glowingly about him and how much he trusts him this year. And if Jalen Tolbert can be anything, that is an upgrade over what Michael Gallup was last year, because it is clear that Michael Gallup has been a shell of himself since that injury in which he signed the extension. And they drove that home with a nail later when the Cowboys let him go, cut him from his contract. He signs with the Raiders for like 3 months and also retired. So even Michael Gallup knew he wasn't right. So I start looking at the Dallas Cowboys, and it's better than I think. Rave reviews so far on Tyler Guyton. I thought Tyler Smith was going to struggle as a rookie. He did not. He came in and played well from the jump. Tyler Guyton is getting the same and similar types of praise, and he has been handling Micah Parsons pretty easily in camp in one-on-ones. Now, today, with Micah ruining the game plan the way he did last year, well, he's ruining the game plan this year because he's coming from different places. I saw him come from a linebacker blitzing and make a move to get inside. That's going to be a dangerous setup for the Dallas Cowboys this year. And his ability to rush from depth, utilizing his athleticism. And I also think it's going to keep him fresher, which will hopefully lead to better production late in the season than we've seen in the past 3 years from Micah Parsons. Because when we get into a December, Micah has struggled. Everybody wants to talk about Dak's postseason struggles. Micah's post-November struggles are a real thing. So Mike Zimmer and this defense and the changes, like McCarthy said, they were on purpose, and that purpose may be realized this year.
When we hired Mike, we were clearly committed to a system change, and we've done that. This is Mike's system, something that's been built over decades of highly successful football in our league. So I really like the transition that they've made from the old system to his system. The language challenges, there are common concepts and things that there is carryover. So I think our players and coaches have done a really good job of bringing that forward. But at the end of it, the expectations is to be part of the complementary football that puts us in position to win a championship. So I think Mike's clearly one of the toughest play callers I've gone against. So I look forward for him to be calling it for us on Sundays.
And I know complementary football is offense feeds defense, special teams help feed offense, and it's a cycle that perpetuates as each section of the team helps the next. But I think that works within the scheme of the defense as well. Complementary football on the defensive side, to where your defensive line helps your linebackers help your defensive line, your linebackers can cover, which helps the safeties, and everything one hand washes the other in a sense. And something that I think will be different this year, strictly because of Mike Zimmer, will be their attention to stopping the run. And potentially, maybe this style actually fits a Mozzie Smith more so than Dan Quinn's style did.
I think just like anything, I think we all want the directness, clear vision, responsibility of, what you're being asked to do. And Jeff gives that, and Mozzie's a young player, and let's be honest. Everybody talks about this with quarterbacks, but Mozzie's in his second year and he's in his second defense, and they're different foundations as far as how the techniques played and so forth. So it's important to have clear responsibility, and I think the real benefit of it is Jeff's played in there. He's played in every system of defense in the league the last 20 years. So he can give, some real personal experience. And I think he's great as he met, the old defense to this defense.
That is Mike McCarthy earlier today, right before practice, as he was meeting with the media. And my thing was, the Cowboys aren't going to be as bad as everybody thinks they are. I see a lot of promise in this team. Will it be 12 wins? Maybe, maybe not. Will it be a playoff team? I believe so. Can it be a Super Bowl team? It depends on some of the steps that these other guys take that we're seeing in camp, and that can it translate to the actual regular season, like a Guyton, like a Jalen Tolbert, like I want to mention a running back, but I still don't believe that the leading rusher is on this team yet, personally. But I believe the linebacking core, the defensive tackles, and the wide receiver room aren't as dire as everybody believes them to be. And of course, I think Jake Ferguson is an ascending talent. Now, on the other side, the Houston Texans seemingly are getting all of the hype. And one quick throwback that everybody loves to say is, well, defenses are going to be prepared for CJ Stroud much more this year, and you expect him to regress after such a great season. I'm going to throw cold water on he played great, so he has to regress theory. That's coming up here on Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star. Plus, if you want to be a part of the conversation, be sure to call in 210-656-3776, 656-ESPN if you want to be a part of the conversation. Plus, stay tuned, because coming up here in about 15 minutes, I'm going to be giving away tickets to go see Sebastian Maniscalco coming up on August 11th at the Frost Bank Center. So stay tuned if you want to win yourself some tickets to go see Sebastian Maniscalco, which will be given away all week long right here on San Antonio Sports Star.
They say to make yourself indispensable at work, so I developed a digital catering solution that only I can operate. Okay, it's actually easycater.com.
David!
They love me, because I, the director of catering logistics, not a real job, use EasyCater to get catering from all our favorite restaurants. Tight budget? No problem. Need vegetarian options? Gluten-free? Check and check.
D-Man, you crushed lunch today.
It was easy. EasyCater.
EasyCater is your all-in-one tech platform for ordering food for work. Start your order at easycater.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. JD Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed. Limited time. For JD Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Home ownership. At Progressive, we know it's part of the American dream. It's the land of the free and the home of student drivers ready to back into your new fence at any given time. It's firing up a round of burgers and dogs on your rusty grill with a faulty gas line that engulfs your tool shed in flames. It's also around-the-clock protection when you bundle your home and auto with Progressive, which can help keep the American dream of home ownership alive and kicking. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
Ugh, I've been feeling so sluggish and just kind of blah. Been there. That's why I take Align yogurt-coated probiotic fruit bites. But I suppose they taste blah. Actually, they taste delicious. It's an apple blueberry flavored center covered in a yogurt coating and is infused with probiotics to help support a healthy gut. They come 5 in a pouch. I just toss one in my bag and go.
Toss one in my bag?
Get your own.
New Align yogurt-coated probiotic fruit bites from the makers of the #1 doctor-recommended probiotic brand.
Find them in the digestive care aisle.
Timmy, everybody. Great job. Next up for our 5th grade class recital, we have Samantha.
10 times better performance can make a big difference. Castrol Edge Motor Oil gives your engine 10 times better high-stress performance. Castrol Edge, better oil for maximum performance. Now through December 28th, Castrol Edge and Edge High Mileage Motor Oil are on rollback at Walmart.
Claim based on sequence 9 tests under high-load conditions versus API SP test limits.
As a roofer, I'm always on the go. So I need to be able to get things done from anywhere. That's why I partnered with Beacon. The brands I depend on, like GAF, right at my fingertips 24/7. I rely on Beacon because I never stop building, and neither do they. Now through September 15th, purchase GAF through Beacon Pro Plus and earn up to $1,500. Go to BECN.com or download the Beacon Pro Plus app today. Beacon, always building.
At Lowe's, save big every day. Right now, get a free pneumatic nailer when you buy a pallet of Metabo HPT nails. And there's more. Save 10% on select shingles when you buy in bulk. Visit us in-store or online for low prices on the materials you need. Because Lowe's knows savings. Lowe's knows pros. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Discount taken at time of purchase. See sales associate for details.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. Go ahead, feel your engine. Admire that perfectly installed exhaust. Your vehicle's moving along this freeway like it was made from fresh installs and a whole lot of love. With eBay Motors, you get over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
The granddaddy of all hunting shows is back. The 2024 Hunters Extravaganza. August 16th through the 18th at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. Fun for the whole family. Check out our hunting seminars, the latest in hunting equipment, last season's best bucks in our annual deer contest, and for the little hunters, games, live alligators, snakes, and more. August 16th through the 18th at the Freeman Coliseum Expo Hall. For details and tickets, go to huntersextravaganza.com.
It's Extra Innings with Pleasure on 94.1 San Antonio Sports Star.
Welcome back into Extra Innings with Pleasure right here on San Antonio Sports Star, 94.1 FM, sasportsstar.com. A lot of talk about the regression of CJ Stroud. And I get it. He had a phenomenal season, but it also depends what your thought of regression is. Because Patrick Mahomes in his first year came out and threw 50 touchdowns. Did he regress? If beating what you did the previous season statistically is regression or not being able to beat what you did, then sure, yeah, regression. And that may be on the table for CJ Stroud. But I don't think because a lot of people when people talk about regression, they're talking about, well, the league's going to catch up to him and he's going to struggle. There are multiple reasons why I don't believe that's the case. One of the reasons was he started behind a mash unit of an offensive line and then finished behind an even more mashed unit of an offensive line. He never had any consistency and was playing with people that weren't on that team on the offensive line when the season started. So, yeah, that tells me that A, he knows where to go with the football, B, how to see what's coming pre-snap to best know where that football needs to go, and then also just feeling the pressure and moving around it. And that is a big thing when it comes to being able to quarterback in the NFL. Joe Burrow is one of the better quarterbacks, in my opinion, of just kind of feeling the rush and knowing where it's coming from and being able to find ways out. He just, when he was at LSU, in his time at Cincinnati, he's been very, very elite at that type of skill set. There's another reason that I don't think CJ Stroud will regress. Remember, he was on the pivot during his after his rookie season. And they were talking with Ryan Clark and them about teams adjusting to him and how they adjusted to him and how he adjusted to their adjustment.
What's crazy about it, though, is because I had so much respect for Jacksonville.
Right.
And I think they kind of came in like, oh, this is a rookie quarterback.
Yeah.
And like that was the last time that happened. Like we played the Steelers week 2. They didn't treat me like like the rest of the season. I never got treated like a rookie quarterback because they just would pick it apart. Like you blitz me, I'm gonna go there. Like I just played a game, against the DC. You want to take this away? Okay, I'm gonna be smart, take the check down. And it took about like 3 weeks, 4 weeks to get used to that. I was always trying to take the shot, trying to squeeze the little window. Like sometimes just taking that completion definitely helped. But like back to you like saying my like number.
And that's very important because he's not afraid to check it down. He's not afraid to take what the defense gives him. And that feels a lot like regression proof. And he's going to have, as J4 points out, Stephon Diggs and Joe Mixon, along with Nico Collins, who hadn't broken 400 yards or 500 yards receiving in his first 3 years in the league. But with CJ Stroud, goes for over 1,108 touchdowns. Tank Dell was on pace to have over 1,200 yards before he ended up getting hurt. CJ Stroud elevates the players around him. Devin Singletary got a huge deal in free agency. And I think having a Joe Mixon, having a Stephon Diggs, having multiple things that the defense has to worry about to where you can't key on taking one thing away. And he's already shown he's not afraid. You take away his favorite target, he'll beat you up with Noah Brown and Robert Woods if he has to. He knows where to go with the football. He knows the guy that's supposed to be open by the defensive look. And I think that is regression proof. That is a guy that plays with his brain more so than anything else. And that's going to allow him to have a great season, especially with the roster that Nick Caserio has put around him. Fred Records on our YouTube Live says, I say CJ Stroud has 5,000 yards, and same for Dak and Burrow. Yeah, I could see all three of those quarterbacks throwing for 5,000 yards this year. Because the thing that can keep CJ from that, in my opinion, is the addition of a Joe Mixon. Because I do believe they will have better than the 22nd ranked run offense this year. And in the Hall of Fame game, Kenyon Green, their second first-round pick from Caserio's first round class, looked good in the Hall of Fame game. Pulling, mowing, opening. So I'm expecting a lot out of this team because not only of the additions on the offensive side, but also the additions on that defensive side of the football. When you talk about adding a Danielle Hunter to a Will Anderson Jr., along with Fatakowski and Danico Autry, they've got pieces and parts all over that defense, and hopefully a healthy safety combination. But there have been reports that they have been keeping tabs on Justin Simmons, who is still a free agent. Which Justin Simmons just feels like he would be the final Infinity Gauntlet piece. It's the final stone to the Infinity Gauntlet that would kind of just bring this whole thing together. But man, I'm telling you, the cuts that are going to be made at the end of training camp or trades potentially, that's going to be something to watch. Because I look at the depth at their receiving room, and now with Cam Akers, the depth that they have at running back, and teams that need those, I could see them come knocking instead of them cutting them loose, having a trade in order. to maybe bolster some depth or even just gives Nick Caserio some more draft picks to play with, since this was the final year of the Deshaun Watson trade. So finally being able to move on from that, but bring some more capital in as we end training camp. This has been fun. I appreciate everybody for coming with me. Sebastian Maniscalco, he is coming to the Frost Bank Center on August 11th. If you want a pair of tickets to go see him, be caller number 5 right now at 210-656-ESPN. That is 210-656-3777 to see Sebastian Maniscalco live at the Frost Bank Center on August 11th. Tickets available at Live Nation if you don't want them here. But caller 5, you're going on us. Thanks for joining me. This has been Extra Innings with Pleasure. Coming up next, we got Rangers and Astros here on your home for the Texas Rangers.
San Antonio's Sports Star.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater